Welcome. Today we have Randi Marmer with us. She is the Assistant Vice President, Public Relations at TruMark Financial Credit Union. Randi has almost 20 years experience building partnerships and programs to advance financial literacy in her communities. Randi, thanks for spending time today with Credit Union Digest.
Thank you for inviting me.
Great. Wonderful to have you. Randi, in your work with TruMark Financial Credit Union, you do a lot to promote financial literacy. How does financial literacy fit into TruMark's overall strategy?
Our mission statement is to help members reach their financial well-being. So financial literacy provides them with the tools they need to reach their financial well-being, educates them on topics such as budgeting, saving, credit repair, and much more than that.
Great. That's wonderful that it's grounded in your mission statement at TruMark. So Randi, I understand the TruMark's financial literacy program is an umbrella that touches a lot of topics. Can you briefly describe some of the activities that you're doing under the umbrella of financial literacy?
Well, one of the major elements is going into classrooms and talking to students about the importance of saving. We talk about budgeting, credit, how to establish credit, even identity theft. So that's one way. Another way that we do it is we do an exercise called the Financial Reality Fair. Pre-pandemic, we actually went into the school. They sent maybe 300 students through juniors and seniors to this fair, and we have different booths set up. And what happens is the students are given a career with a budget worksheet. It has their gross salary as well as their net salary. They need to take that net salary and get housing, car insurance with a car. They need entertainment. Maybe they belong to a gym, grooming, much like their appearance budget on a monthly basis. There's even a financial wheel of reality that maybe life throws them a curveball. They get a flat tire on the way to school or work, and it sets them back $100. So they learn that they have to debit that out of their checking account, or maybe they get a $100 gift from grandmom for their birthday. Add that into their checking account. We give them a student loan as well, and they have to budget all this money as they go from booth to booth. At the end, they meet with a financial counselor to see if they're living within their means. Sometimes, students have to go back to that car booth and they can't afford that BMW. They have to trade it in for maybe a used vehicle, and because they're living above their means and they're in the negative. Another way that we help students is we do 2 fundraisers each year. We do a Kiss a Pig event, which we have a real live pig, and participants actually raise money for the privilege of kissing that pig. We get schools involved, and it could be the principal, one of the teachers, as well as we get community members involved in TruMark Financial employees. And throughout all the years, we've been doing this 10 years, we've awarded schools more than $350,000 in grants to use for personal finance resources. Another way we use financial literacy to heighten awareness is our Financial Jeopardy event, in which we have students from schools from all different districts throughout the Philadelphia and suburban area compete for a $5,000 scholarship. All the categories are personal finance related, and second prize gets a $3,000 scholarship and a $2,000 to the third prize winner. And all the students that actually participate, even if they don't advance, they get a $200 savings account at TruMark Financial.
That's
so
wonderful.
Those are some of the ways.
Go ahead.
I was going to say those are some of the different elements that we do. We also do financial literacy for community groups as well. Talking, on an adult level, credit repair, how to budget, because there's some people, that don't have this awareness and this knowledge.
You're right. The financial literacy is not well understood, and I like that you've got the classroom part, the reality fair where it really is something they have to deal with. The Jeopardy, Kiss the Pig, and your other fundraising things. It's a great set of activities you have for the overall program. And, as you said, you've raised hundreds of thousands of dollars to advance this. So this is great. So on a slightly different look at financial literacy and serving the community, you and I were recently discussing, Randy, how TruMark Financial opened a branch to break the cycle in a community for the underbanked and unbanked. Could you talk about, what TruMark did, what its thinking was, and how this all came together in the community?
Back in 2009, an area in North Philadelphia, a group called APM, a Latino organization, they were approaching different financial institutions, mostly big banks, and asking for a financial institution in their community. Now, a lot of the big banks didn't want to go there because they realized it wasn't going to be a profitable venture.
Wow.
And talking to our board of directors and our senior management team, Nilda Ruiz, who was the CEO, we formed a partnership, and they decided, why not put a branch here? This community deserves a financial institution as well as any other, community. And so we've been there all these years now, since 2009. It's been successful, but it was a learning process for us. I mean, we realized we did a lot of research before we actually opened the branch. We learned that, largely the Latino community there didn't trust financial institutions. We hired a bilingual staff. We tried to make people feel as comfortable as possible, welcoming them and giving them the time they needed to learn about a credit union and the difference between a credit union and a bank.
That's great. That's great. Great story. And it's fabulous that it continues to be successful today.
Yes, it's grown quite a bit, since its inception. And just recently, Nilda Ruiz was at our Kiss a Pig event. They always partner with us, and we had awarded one of their Head Start programs a grant for participating. And during the pandemic, they were able to take that money from the grant and purchase Chromebooks for the Head Start students and load them with educational software,
Right.
and give it out. So the students continue to learn, even though they were at home. And, normally their parents wouldn't be able to afford to purchase these Chromebooks. So it was, we felt really good about it, that it was used in such a successful way.
Yeah, it's a great story about the branch. It's a great story about the Chromebooks, and one good thing leads to another in building these community relationships. So Randy, thank you for sharing with us how TruMark Financial Credit Union is continuing to make an impact in the communities it serves.
Thank you so much for inviting me on, Larry.
Great. All right. Well, in closing, thank you for joining Credit Union Digest. If you have additional questions for Randy, please see the links in her bio.